Satchel from Steel Panther. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he's totally naked from the waist down.
Hey guys, and welcome to Metal Stream Radio with your host, me, Metal Matt. And I'm here every week, every Friday and Saturday, to play lots of heavy metal and talk heavy metal. And I've ordered a pizza tonight, and I'm going to just enjoy this with you guys. We're going to hang out, and we've got a Alice Cooper special. So enjoy. I'm going to be playing some songs off his new album, lots of songs through his career. You know, he's had such a long career and done such a variation of music. And I've also interviewed a lot of Alice's band members, from original members to more recent members, and throughout his career. So yeah, expect some interview clips from Dennis Dunaway of the original band, Kane Roberts, who you probably know as the big Rambo kind of lookalike who played with Alice in the 80s with Raise Your Fist and Yell and Constrictor, some of my favourite albums. We've got Ryan Roxie, one of the more recent members. He's been with him like since the 90s, I think, so maybe not so recent, but you know, various people I've interviewed from Alice's band. I grew up on Alice. This is one of my favourites. You know, he was the first thing I heard, actually. My dad always played it. He's a big fan. In the car I'd hear it growing up, and I'd hear it around the house, everywhere, you know. Zipper Catches the Skin, Dragon Town, Raise Your Fist and Yell, From the Inside, all these great albums I'd hear all the time. And yeah, that's, I think, what got me into heavy music and made me want to sing and write lyrics and stuff myself. Alice is definitely a big inspiration for that. And yeah, I got my dad to thank for playing all that stuff all the time, because it definitely got in my head, and I just love it. I've always loved Alice as a lyricist, great lyrics, and as a performer. You know, I don't think anybody can compete with his show, his dramatics, and you know, a very, very cool show, very kind of shock, horror, kind of rock kind of vibe he's got going, very unique. And you know, by now he's like a piece of American history. He's met everyone, he's kind of hung out with everyone, he's played golf with so many people. Anyone who knows Alice knows he's a big golf fan. You know, he's met the likes of Elvis, and he's met the likes of the Kentucky Fried Chicken guy, and you know, so many other people, so many kind of iconic names, Dali, you know. Yeah, he's got so many great stories. And yeah, this week we're just going to be playing some great stuff off the new album and a lot of other stuff from his career. So yeah, but before I delve into that, I thought I'd play a song, one of my songs, a new song, just as an exclusive, because I haven't released this song. In fact, I wrote it today, recorded it today. If you don't know much about me, I'm Metal Matt. I do lots of rock and metal music. Got quite a following now for like gothic rock kind of metal stuff. You know, I've been going a good few years now and built up quite a following for what I do. So, you know, I thank everyone who is a fan and enjoys the music I make. You may have heard my songs like Changes in You, which featured Dom Jolly from Trigger Happy TV. In fact, you may have even seen Alice Cooper being pranked by Dom Jolly for his show, Trigger Happy TV. That was on the first series. But yeah, Dom, the prankster guy, he was in my music video, Changes in You. You may have seen that. I've got a song, The King of Hearts, which is like a very powerful kind of rock ballad, lots of high notes and stuff, kind of Judas Priest, King Diamond, and even a bit of Udo from Accept kind of vibes. So yeah, you may have heard them. Mexico. I do a lot of stuff from kind of rock to heavier stuff, and also some synth pop, and this time it is a bit more of a synth pop song with a bit of a rock edge on it. And yeah, I thought I'd give you an exclusive today on Metal Stream Radio. It's a song, I haven't decided the name yet, but I think I'm going to go with Digital ID. That'll probably be what it's called, but the name could change. But yeah, look out on the platforms if you like it. It'll be out soon under my name, Metal Matt, on all the platforms. So yeah, I thought first I'll delve into that, and then we're going to have a whole show of Alice, and yeah, many interview clips as well from his various members. So yeah, strap yourselves in. I got my pizza ordered today, and I'm just going to be hanging out with you now for a couple of hours and appreciating the great music of Alice. But first, let's listen to my new song. I hope you like it, guys. Digital ID.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You want me, need me. Life's forcing you into submission. Life's forcing you to make hard decisions. I knew this world would end.
digital IDs, twisted ideologies. My soul's not for sale, you can stay in hell. 'Cause we know just what you are. And you wanna play God? Are you not enough? What do you need to make you believe? Believe, believe, There we have it. I hope you like that one, guys. It's a bit different, bit obscure. Sometimes I like to do something a bit alternative, kind of something a bit weird. I like electronic sounds because it lets me explore quite a wide area. I kind of have Bowie in mind and people like that, and I always try and put some rock kind of vocals in there as well, and some kind of screams, but kind of something unique, because it's, in this world you've got to kind of try and do something. If you're a musician, you've got to try and do something that's not been done before, is at least unique enough that it's probably not been done, at least. Or a lot of people say everything's been done now, but you got to keep trying to make that not true, and try different things. So yeah, I kind of put a bit of a rock element into that kind of electronic music, and that's one of my other loves. I love my heavy metal, but I like kind of 80s sounds, so I try to do a bit of that kind of electronic sounds as well. Some of you may know we unfortunately lost Dave Ball from the very iconic 80s group Soft Cell with Mark Almond. You'd know the hits like Tainted Love, which obviously was a cover, but they kind of made it their own, and Say Hello, Wave Goodbye, Bedsitter, Torch, all those kind of songs. Unfortunately, he died this past week, which is very sad. It's sad to see the 80s legends, and along with Ace Frehley, of course, of Kiss, another big loss. Very, very sad when this kind of thing happens. I guess they're all at that kind of age now, where our legends, our icons are falling, but that's why we got to try and keep their music alive, and hopefully, musicians like myself, I strive to kind of keep that kind of vibe alive, the old school kind of vibe, be it in rock, metal, or kind of 80s pop vibes. I think it's important to try and keep that sound alive, because it was so kind of timeless. All these songs are timeless, and they kind of had something special. There's something creative in those years where some things didn't have to be perfect. It was more about just the songwriting, the characters of the people during the 80s, and that kind of era. A lot of these people kind of were different. If they went on X Factor, I'm sure a lot of them wouldn't make it. On Simon Cowell's X Factor, because he just wants boy bands and that kind of thing. That's what the world's going to come to these days. But back in the day, people who you probably wouldn't expect kind of made it, and were given a chance. I think the good thing is a lot of us do music independently, like myself. I'm big on releasing stuff independently, and that gives you a bit more freedom to kind of do and say what you want and make sounds which don't have to be commercial. So that's the fun of supporting artists like myself, who are kind of trying to keep this kind of music alive, But now we're going to get into Alice Cooper. This is where the Alice Cooper special starts. And I hope you're going to enjoy it, guys. I thought I'd play you a song which is, I think, one of my favourites off the new album, The Revenge of Alice Cooper. It's a really cool song. It's got a real groove to it, and great vocals, great musicianship. Kind of got that old school Alice group vibe, because it is an album which has been released with the original band, and it's been so many years since they released their first album together, the original band, that this is quite special for all the Alice fans who love that early stuff, because there is a difference really between Alice's solo stuff, where he branched off and did his solo work, and that original stuff like the Schools Out album, and all that kind of stuff, the Killer album, and it's totally different sound, $1 Billion Babies. So it's great to hear that band back together and rocking away and making some great music. And you'll hear they have not lost one bit of anything. Sorry, my cats are jumping about here, but they haven't lost one bit of anything. They got so much charisma, so much kind of skill. You can hear the skill is still there, and I love it. So we'll be hearing a lot of that stuff, and we're going to start with one of my favourites off the album, Famous Face, and we'll listen to Dennis Dunaway, the bass player, after talking a little bit about making this album, but first, here's Famous Face.
TV. You look and act so outrageously. You show the world what they want to see. You're as worthless as a dog with fleas. You want more when you've had too much, never knowing when enough's enough. You can't stop 'cause you're such a lush. You cry 'cause you got it rough. Cry 'cause you got it rough. You're just another famous face. No earthly good, no saving grace. You don't do nothing, you just take up space. 'Cause you're just another famous face. You're just another famous face. No earthly good, no saving grace. You'll soon be gone without a trace. shit. Why bands like you's a mystery. I wish the hell you'd get off my TV. You want more when you've had too much, never knowing when enough's enough. You can't stop 'cause you're such a lush, and you cry 'cause you got it rough. Cry 'cause you like it rough. You're just another famous face, idol worship for the human race. Your life's been nothing but a total waste, 'cause you're just another famous face. You're just another famous face. Your trendy look seems so out of place. You serve no purpose, you ain't got no taste, 'cause you're just another famous face. Just another famous face. Just another famous face. Just another famous face. 'Cause you're just another famous face.
There we have Famous Face. I love that one. Good references there to a lot of heavy metal places in LA and all that, like the Sunset Strip. Obviously that was big for music back in the day. You know, all the rock stars would go and hang out along there in all these various bars and things. And I think the Rainbow was there, Lemmy was always there, and you know, all these very popular hangout spots. And it seems to be, from what I'm gathering in the lyrics, it's sort of maybe a dig, maybe a kind of just a reference to all these another famous face. You know, it's just another one, and the ones who've got a bit too much attitude. All these various rocks. I'm sure Alice and the band have probably met a lot of those kind of people, the big I ams in kind of rock and metal who passed through and, you know, kind of got more ego than is necessary. So I like that song. I like the kind of cynicism of the song, because that's very Alice, you know, and the character of Alice obviously is always a bit cynical with songs like The Little Things. It's the little things that drive me wild. It's a great character, you know, kind of a crazy character depending on the album. Sometimes he's a killer, sometimes he's, you know, it's all horror themed, but he's a pretty dark character, Alice. And obviously in real life, Alice Cooper, or Vincent Fournier as his born name is, although I think his passport even says Alice Cooper now, so I think he changed that name officially from what I've read. But yeah, he obviously was he's a Christian, and you know, a very nice guy. If anyone knows, you know, he's done a lot for charity. He's got his Solid Rock Foundation where he helps young kids, instead of getting into gangs and stuff like that, it gets them into music. So that's very cool. I think Rob Halford of Judas Priest has always associated himself with that, and the Christmas pudding event they have every year, which Rob turns up to often, and other musicians, and they just jam and raise money and stuff, which is very cool, especially at Christmas. You know, that's what you should be doing at Christmas, trying to help people and kind of, you know, share the love. I wish I could have made one of those Christmas puddings. I'm in Mexico now, so I'm a bit closer. I could probably get to Phoenix a bit easier than I once could, so who knows, maybe one day I'll make one of those Christmas puddings. Although I don't know how quick it sells out and how you get a ticket. I don't know if it's one of those kind of well advertised events or not. I think it's a bit kind of underground. Maybe it's maybe not a kind of tickets up for sale kind of thing straight away. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. But yeah, I think it's more like friends and kind of, I don't know. It's a low key kind of thing, I think. But I don't know. I will look into that. And yeah, I think it'd be a fun gig. I've seen it over the years, and yeah, Rob always rocks out, and you know, loads of different rock stars turn up to support it, which is great. So yeah, Alice is a really nice guy. You know, very down to earth, and you know, he's met so many people. Like I say, he is like an icon of American history. You know, he's someone who's done everything, been there all throughout, you know, a very important period of time with all these different icons, and he's been there all through it. And I've even heard he owns one of the I think it's one of the O's in the Hollywood sign. He actually paid for one of that, and he kind of started a thing to restore it where different rock stars should buy one of the letters, and they all did. I think every letter is owned by a different person or an actor or whoever. But Alice, I think, bought the O for Groucho Marx, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. He did it for him, kind of thing. So yeah, that just shows how much of a great guy Alice is, and he kind of wants to preserve that Hollywood history. He's just a cool guy and very different to his character. He's very good at getting into characters, what I'm trying to say, and what really impresses me about him. You know, he's like total polar opposites to his on-stage persona, you know. In fact, I saw him in Bristol. It was my first gig ever, and I was front row, and it was insane. I was front row, he's looking at me in the eyes while he's singing. He really personalises the front row, you know. And after, I waited by the stage door, and he ran onto his coach, and you could see him making a sandwich on the coach. So after being this big, intense, scary character, he went to make a salami sandwich or something. So yeah, that always makes me laugh, that memory. Love to meet Alice. I wish I could. I've got his autograph. I've got a nice Dragon Town era promo print signed, which I managed to pick up, but always been my dream to meet Alice. I've met most of my rock heroes, all of Judas Priest and Zakk Wylde and Anthrax and many others, but Alice is one I'm yet to meet, and yeah, I really hope one day I could meet him or interview him. You know, I've interviewed all his band members nearly, so I think it's destiny that Alice is next, you know. In fact, I might even email his management or whatever after I've done this show, because I did before, and they said he's so busy at the moment, but maybe it's died down a bit now and he might have a bit of time, who knows. So yeah, I'll chase him up. That's what you got to do in this business. Hope you like that song. I certainly do. I think it was great. We're going to have a lot more off the new album, but now I'm going to play a song which I really, really loved. It's called Cleansed by Fire. This is one of his solo works, not with the original band. This one, we're gonna kind of come and go from his various career, and after that we'll listen to Dennis Dunaway talking about the new album. So yeah, stay tuned for that. It's very interesting.
I don't know, but I've been told the streets of hell are paved with gold. Crazy, crazy. You told me that nothing's free except my own insanity. Crazy, maybe. Wake me, shake me, wake me, shake me. You offer me the world and all its wealth, all for myself. You promise me a life eternally and drink to my health. I may seem only half blue, but I can see right through you. Burn it up, burn it down, burn this sucker to the ground. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Going, 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 gone. There's a party going on. Do you think I don't know who you are? A falling star. When I feel my soul scream out at night, I know you're not far. You need a better disguise. This one won't win any prize. Burn it up, burn it down, burn this sucker to the ground.
What about death? What about sin? What about the web you're trying to spin? What about truth? What about life? What about glory? What about Christ? What about peace? What about love? What about faith in God above? What about war? What about hell? What if I stumble? What if I fail? What about blood? What about greed? And all these things you're offering me. Yeah, what about me? Little me. You lose. I win. You couldn't suck me in. It's over. You have no power. You're lost. And I'm found. And I'm heaven bound. Go back where you belong. To where you fell. Go to hell.
There we have it, Cleansed by Fire, off the Last Temptation album. That really is a great album. Great songs like Sideshow and Nothing's Free as well. So many songs I love on that album. Yeah, great stuff. And as promised, now I've got a very special guest, Dennis Dunaway, who I managed to speak with the other week, all about this new album, The Revenge of Alice Cooper. And here he talks through the whole process of how it happened, how they got back together to record this album. And yeah, it's very interesting. You're going to love this. So here's Dennis Dunaway talking with me, Metal Matt. And yeah, here we go for Metal Stream Radio.
Hey, this is Satchel from Steel Panther. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he's totally naked from the waist down.
Took my time.
Metal Matt, Alice Cooper here. Good name, by the way. I'll tell Rob that I talked to you. You're a singer-songwriter.
So
And the best thing I can say to a guy like Metal Matt is, whatever you do, don't rush.
Hey guys, Metal Matt here, and I've got the honour of welcoming Dennis Dunaway from the original Alice Cooper band onto the channel today. Played on such albums, Muscle of Love, Billion Dollar Babies, School's Out, of course, you know, the iconic School's Out album. And now there's a new album, The Revenge of Alice Cooper. After all these years, you're back together, and you're dropping an album, which is, you know, news which all the Alice Cooper fans are going crazy for at the moment, because it was kept under your hat for so long. It was such a surprise for everyone, you know, that you're actually back together doing an album. So tell me a bit about that. How did you all get back together to do this? And
well, it was a step-by-step process. I mean, we would get together with Alice for his fundraisers for the Solid Rock Teen Centers out in Phoenix, Arizona, where Alice and his wife Cheryl are big participants. So we would get together for those, and then we would submit songs for Alice's solo albums and get together to record those. And then when I wrote my book, I think that kind of helped bring people together, even though before that, even in 2011, we were inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So we were on stage performing for that, with Steve Hunter on guitar and a bunch of children singing School's Out with us. But so all of these things kind of brought everybody back together. And when I put out my book, Snakes, Guillotines, Electric Chairs, My Adventures in the Alice Cooper Group, I did a book event at a record store in Dallas, Texas. And I got Neil and Michael and Alice to show up for a big surprise concert right in the record store. And they filmed that, and they also recorded it, which they weren't planning to do that professionally. They were just doing it for their own, safekeeping. But it turned out so well that was released live from the AstroTurf, Alice Cooper, by this guy, Chris Penn, who has since, in recent years, passed away. But he made this whole thing happen, and that brought us together. And then I get a call, like a couple of years ago, I get a call from Alice and Bob Ezrin. They're like, "Hey, Dan, we've been out Alice was out in Phoenix, and Neil and Michael were there, and they were getting together and kicking around ideas for the fun of it." And then they said, "Well, we were thinking, do you want to do an album?" And I said, "Well, hello, what do you think I've been saying for 51 years now?"
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like you're preaching to the choir here. So then they were saying, "Oh, okay." I was saying, "Oh, what do you have, like a theme or anything so I can make sure I have songs for that?" And they said, "No, we'll do the best of the lot." And I said, "Oh, the cream of the crop." And they both started laughing because my phone had cut out. They thought I said cream of the crap. And they decided that's going to be the name of the album.
That's good. Yeah, that would have worked.
But this thing was like, so that was like over 2 years ago. And so we submit a bunch of songs, and Neil and I sending them between us and sending them to Bob and all of this. And, and then there would be a long period where we wouldn't hear anything about it. So we'd think, "Oh, well, this isn't going to happen again." And then we get a call, "Hey, Alice is going to be in Phoenix, and Neil and Michael are out here. Dennis, fly on out and let's get together in the studio." So it was just the four of us in the recording studio at one of the Solid Rock Teen Centers. And we were just, having fun and jamming and playing this song or that, kind of just going, flying by the seat of our pants. But it was designed, Bob Ezrin wasn't there intentionally. He agreed that it was a good idea just to get the band back together in a room and working on stuff. And it was like not really necessary. We didn't have any rust to get on. We didn't have to get anything back. It was already still there, so but we had a blast. And that helped bring things more focused. But then another long period of nothing happening. So, oh boy. So we had submitted, I bet we had more than 70 songs submitted between Neil and Michael and I. And then Bob said, "Oh, well, let's get together in the studio with me." And he booked some studio. I said, "Wait a minute, I'm not sure about that place. You didn't like it last time." So I said, "I've got an idea." And so we booked Carriage House Studios, which Neil and I had worked at before many times over the years. I even narrated the audio for my book there. But also Bob Ezrin used to live near that studio, and at one point he had a lot of his equipment there, and he had done some recordings there with other bands. So this fell into place nicely because by then Neil was out here near this studio, and so was I. So Michael flew out, and Alice and Bob were there, and we went into the studio, I thought, to choose which 10 of the 70 songs we wanted to do, and because there's no way. I kept asking them, what songs do you want to do? I don't want to learn 70 songs,
No. Definitely not.
So I could not get an answer. It kept changing. And so I thought we were just going to go and pick the songs and whip them into shape and then, book some studio time later to actually lay them down. But no, walked into the studio and we were recording.
Wow, so that's a bit of pressure.
Yeah, but it was great. And so it was combined like the way we used to rehearse to whip songs into shape in pre-production before we went into the studio in the old days. So it was, a lot of it was just us following wherever the creative gods were directing us. We just we just make up a song, or we would just all of a sudden do a song that we thought was not even really in the running. So a lot of stuff like that, but we were all, we've been around the block a few times, so we know the studio, and we've watched Bob Ezrin and other, very professional producers and engineers, and Jack Douglas and Jack Richardson, and we've worked with the best. So we were like sponges and soaked that all up. So the reason we could do this album without doing 2 weeks of pre-production, there's two reasons. Number one, we had learned so much since the old days about how to take a song apart and put it back together properly. And also because of technology. Now, if we decide we want the arrangement to be different, we can cut and paste. In the old days, that was a big deal.
I'm sure.
In fact, in the old days, even if I had one bass note that I wanted to change, Jack Richardson would make me record the whole song again.
Oh no.
That was on Love It to Death and Killer and Muscle of Love. If I had one note, I had to record the whole song again, the whole track. Because he was a bass player, and he would just say, hey, you're going to be playing this song a million times in your life, so you man up and get in there,
Yeah, it makes sense.
But now, and therefore, since a lot of it was so spontaneous, a lot of it was us just trying to agree on an arrangement so that we could lay down the track, and me watching the guitar player's chord hand for the songs that I didn't know that well. And then Bob in the control room in our headphones, we could hear him say, here comes the bridge, and stuff like that. That's how new these songs were. Wow. So I could, and there's a lot of pressure there when you do that, a lot of pressure, but we stay focused at the job at hand, and each guy has his own specialty. And we all know what each other's specialty is. If I think, hey, we need a new chord here, then we look at Michael. Hey, what's the tempo? We look at Neil. All of that. We all have worked together so long. It's all well established. But even though we're very focused and work really hard, we're willing to do a take 50 times if that's what it takes.
Yeah.
But we also have a lot of humor. We just had a blast. It was so much fun.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, it must have been great just being back together and back like the old days, I'm guessing. Did it kind of come back to you in the same way? Was it like a new experience, or was it like stepping in the studio years ago, apart from all the advancements that you talked about?
It was more like stepping into the studio in the old days, because when we get together, we all revert to high school kids, because that's where we all started together, so that sophomoric humor is rampant, and so it's in fact, in a way, because Glenn Buxton was there in spirit, a lot of the feel was early in our friendship, So, I mean, we were in high school, we always put each other down all the time.
How did
You
it?
know, it's sarcastic humor, you know, and we expect it. You know, if I walk out of the room, I know when I walk back in, somebody's already whittled me down, you know.
Yeah.
And then when they walk out, then it's their turn.
Well,
But you know, so that also had a lot to do with Glenn Buxton's spirit, which is very prominent on the second half of this album, because more and more as the album goes on, it goes more and more in the direction of our early days as the Spiders and the kind of music that in the days when Glenn was the only real musician in the band, and he was showing us how to play these certain types of 3-chord progression songs and all of that. So the album keeps going along, and then about 2/3 of the way through, all of a sudden it just starts getting more and more Glenn Buxton, and I'm very proud of how we managed to do that.
yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, it sounds like he was definitely with you in spirit.
Hey, this is Satchel from Steel Panther. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he's totally naked from the waist down.
And there we have it, Dennis Dunaway, very interesting there, and great how he speaks with such a care for his former bandmate there, Glenn Buxton, and great he could kind of, the whole band could kind of recreate and feel his spirit with them on this album. I definitely agree with them from listening to it. It's got that old school vibe, you know, and you know, they've got a song on there called What a Sid, which was kind of a reference to Glenn Buxton, because that was one of his kind of sayings. He'd always say, "Oh, what a Sid," which Dennis explained to me in the full interview there. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. There's more on my YouTube channel, but we've got much more interviews coming from different band members and some more from Dennis. So it's a really cool one, but I thought I'd go into now another song off the album in reference to Glenn Buxton, the late Glenn Buxton, God bless him. This is What a Sid off the new album, The Revenge of Alice Cooper.
I'm a rebel, I'm too much. I got a scotch and soda, that's my crutch. A pearl stiletto and a bag of weed. I'm east of Eden and a real bad seed. I love to rock, but I need to roll, and ain't no shot that I won't grow old. I flash my Casanova smile. They give an inch and then I take a mile. I said, hi-de-hi, ho-de-hey. I love to live in a dangerous dream, and I'll probably die that way. I got no home, but I don't care. I got snakeskin boots and long blonde hair, a chip on my shoulder and a stolen guitar. Put it all together and I'm a star. I'm high all night and I sleep all day. I smoke and drink all my cares away. I got no reason and I got no plans, no expectations of the promised land. I said, hi-de-hi, ho-de-hey. I love to live in a dangerous dream, and I'm probably gonna die that way. Hey, hey.
And there we have What a Sid. What a great song. Can you believe that's new Alice? I mean, it sounds like it could have been taken straight off the Love It to Death album, you know, back in 1971. Just proper like vintage vibe and just great. It's mad how these guys can come back together and create such a great album that sounds like those early iconic releases, you know, and I love that song. What a vibe, what a great groove. You know, they're a very groovy band, the original Alice band. Totally different kind of sound to his later band, which are amazing as well, you know, very rock kind of, very great rock players, you know, but there's something kind of very groovy and swingy and a bit of jazz, you know, vibes as well with the early Alice band. They were very unique in sound, you know, which I think is what, you know, must have started Alice's career so strongly, you know, with all the great albums they did together. So I'm so glad they come back together to do this, yeah, just amazing. I think if anyone hasn't got this album yet, you've got to go grab it. You know, grab as many physical copies as you can as well, because that's kind of dying out now. Everyone's downloading and everything. Yeah, go and grab the LP and the CDs and all that stuff and the T-shirt. You know, support the artists we love. Very important this day and age. Things are tough, I think, for the way the music industries went and the way people kind of listen to music now. It's great to be able to support your favourite artists and new artists and all the artists that are around today, really, because we're all kind of in the same boat. So yeah, brilliant. I thought I'd go into a little bit of a different vibe now into the Kane Roberts era, because I know a lot of us probably know and love that period, which I know I certainly do. Really stands out for me, the kind of big Rambo muscly guitar guy of Kane Roberts alongside Alice Cooper. They were like a duo force, you know, not to be reckoned with. They were kind of like a duo, like I say, seeing Kane and Alice. They were both these big characters. Usually it was just Alice at the forefront, but when Kane Roberts was in the band, he really kind of dominated in his own way, but in a way where it wasn't taking anything from Alice. It was like it just made it even stronger and kind of you know, he had such a cool way of playing, and it was kind of like a heavy metal period really for Alice. He took Alice into a heavy metal direction, and you know, with great songs like Chop Chop Chop, Roses on White Lace, Gale, that whole trilogy, and you know, so many other good songs. Freedom, you know, The Man Behind the Mask, which you may know that one from the movie. But yeah, so we're going to listen to me chatting now with Kane Roberts for a few minutes here, from an interview I did a few weeks ago, months maybe, not that long though, but yeah, pretty recent interview with Kane Roberts, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. Here we go.
Metal Maps, sponsored by Metal Stream Radio. Crank it up!
It's a real honour to have you on the channel today, Kane. So yeah, thanks for being here.
Hey, how you doing, Matt? It's nice to talk to you.
I'm good, man. Yeah, very good, very good. I'm here in Mexico at the moment. It's a little bit hot, but I'm getting used to it. You know, as a British guy, it takes some adjustment. But yeah, how are you doing out there? Where are you at the moment?
I'm in California, Studio City, Hollywood, right around that area.
Oh wow, very nice. Cool.
Yeah, the weather's trying to get better, but I think we have some 49 degrees. And you know, I'm from the East Coast, so you know, used to be 0, you know, but now 50 degrees is cold to me.
Oh
so
wow.
I'm into a winter. What?
I know the feeling. Honestly, yeah. Anytime I go back to the UK, I'm like, I can't handle that cold anymore. I don't know how I ever did it. You know.
I don't like it that much. You know, it's like you go out to your car, you gotta break all the ice off the car, and then you know.
Yeah, there's all that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a lot of effort. Yeah, a lot of effort. I wanted to get into a bit about, obviously, your Alice days, seeing as that's something that had such an impact on my life. You know, my dad was playing this stuff all the time. 2 of the top albums I'd hear constantly was Raise Your Fist and Yell and Constrict. And
Yeah.
I literally grew up on that stuff. And, you know, Chop Chop Chop's one of my favourite songs. And
Oh,
you know,
geez, that whole trilogy is insane.
Yeah.
It was, and just writing it with Alice, the way the lyrics just, you know, poured out of him, you know, and you know, we were on the road, and we would stop in different cities and find a recording studio, And it was always it wasn't like a big studio. It would always be like some kid's house. For some reason, we wanted to do that. So we would find, a local and say, hey, do you know anybody that has like a local studio? We go into some guy, he couldn't even believe Alice Cooper and I were there. Alice, not me so much, but, it's kind of amazing. So, yeah.
That's
so we
great.
wrote that. And for example, I've mentioned this before, but Prince of Darkness, those lyrics are so incredibly, they're so accurate and clear and filled with like all this intensity and mystery. And it literally took him 20 minutes. He was eating Doritos on a couch and he came over, he said, hey, I got the lyrics. And I went, seriously? So he's that good. And, I just heard an interview with him. The guy's just, he just knows, his brain is so insanely sharp, and creative.
There we have. There's me chatting with Kane Roberts, which was an honour because he was one of my favourite guitarists. Him and KK Downing, my two kind of top favourites, along with Satchel of Steel Panther. I think those three to me are like the best guitarists. I love their style and they've all got a kind of unique style. But Kane, I'd always wanted to chat with, and I chatted to him for like an hour and a half or something, which is an honour. That's just a snippet there from that interview, and really interesting how he says about how fast Alice was writing these songs. It shows he's just such a skilled guy, and when he's in the mode, when he's got that mindset, he can just do it, which I think is maybe like a lot of artists, you've got to kind of go off that first bit of inspiration. I think if you throw around a song for too long, it will change, the vibe will change. Sometimes it's best just to get those lyrics down straight away. That first kind of a feeling, that first kind of string of consciousness is often what will resonate with people more than really spending like 3 weeks writing it and changing things and all that kind of thing. And on that note, let's listen to Kane Roberts' recommendation there of Prince of Darkness now.
Baby
the light, he feels the truth, he feels what's gonna be. He spits on life, he spits on God, he spits up death for you and me. Prince of Darkness studies the world with hungry eyes. Prince of Darkness, ready to baptize you in lies. Prince of Darkness studies the world with hungry eyes. Prince of Darkness, ready to baptize you in lies. Darkness. He smells the breath of sweet human sin and deeply breathes it in. Prince of Darkness.
There we have the Prince of Darkness off the Raise Your Fist and Yell album. What a masterpiece. So much drama, so much kind of change throughout the song, you know, from that very aggressive kind of Prince of Darkness to that kind of softer stuff at the end there, and beautiful guitar playing and crazy guitar kind of solo there in the middle. It's got everything you want really from a kind of rock or metal track, don't you think? I know I certainly do. Yeah, fantastic song. I love the lyrics, you know, you can tell those lyrics. The fact that he wrote them so fast, it just shows how great Alice is at what he does, because, yeah, some fantastic lyrics there, and kind of he takes you to the place, you know. That's what I love with Alice, the way he sings and you know, uses those lyrics. He can really kind of take you to the place he's singing about, and kind of you kind of get lost in your mind listening to his music. I think only the great artists do that, you know, where you can really lose yourself in the music. So yeah, I love that. Love that whole album. Yeah, it's a real masterpiece. And yeah, I'm going to move on to another guitarist now who I was lucky enough to interview, who has been in Alice's touring band for many years now, on and off, and he first appeared on the Fistful of Alice live CD, which you may have heard, which was a great album, recorded in Cabo San Lucas in Mexico, where I am now. Apart from I'm not there, I'm in Cancun, but still in Mexico. That was his first time recording with Alice, and I think he was very new to the band at that point as well. It may have even been the first show or something like that. So yeah, great album that, and he also played on Dragon Town, Brutal Planet, another two favourite albums of mine, because it's very heavy. It's kind of Alice, heavy metal Alice, you know, which he didn't do that much of, you know, those two albums, Dragon Town and Brutal Planet, and the Kane Roberts stuff, Raise Your Fist and Yell and Constrictor, I think is some of Alice's heaviest stuff. So yeah, I love those albums. And like I say, he's been in the touring band, and up to this day he's in the touring band now, touring around with Alice. They've just finished a tour actually of the States with Judas Priest. Got to be the perfect gig, that, you know, Priest and Alice Cooper. I wish I could have been there, but being in Mexico is very difficult to get to these gigs now. Yeah, I would have loved to have been there. I know they played London, and I think Johnny Depp turned up as well back a bit when they played in London on the European tour. So yeah, I've missed that. It's crazy. Missed some really good stuff. I've been waiting years for some really good gigs to come round, and it happens to come round when I'm not in England. It's a lot easier to see gigs in England, I've found. Yeah, Mexico, you've got to really travel about if you're going to go to a show. But yeah, but it is what it is. I've seen both of them, so at least I've seen Priest many times, seen Alice many times. So yeah, and they're both shows not to be missed. I wish I hadn't missed this one where they're touring together, but that's how life goes. But yeah, I'm going to play some interview now from back a bit with Ryan Roxie, where I was chatting with him, like I say, and he's a very interesting guy. I even got to sing a little bit with him, so stay tuned to hear that later on here. And yeah, that was a real honour. So yeah, have a listen to this.
Hey, this is Satchel from Steel Panther. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he's totally naked from the waist down.
Metal Matt, Alice Cooper here. Good name, by the way.
Hello. Right, today I'm here and I'm very lucky to have a very special guest today from Alice Cooper's touring band and also recorded many albums with Alice, Ryan Roxie. It's great to have you on here. As a big Cooper fan myself, it's really cool just to chat with you today. And, I've met you once before, very briefly in Swansea, when you were playing there with Alice. But
Nice.
This is my first time having a proper chat with you, so really cool to.
Well, sorry, I didn't wear my Swansea T-shirt. I only have my New York T-shirt today, but the Swansea one is in the laundry because
That's it. Never mind. Everyone loves Swansea. Honestly, it's such a beautiful place.
we were just talking about how we're both chasing the sun. I look like I have almost too much sun going on right now. I'm in Cape Town, South Africa, soaking it up because it still is summer here, and the weather is great. And well, we're looking forward to heading back to Europe and the States when it becomes summer over there again. So it's kind of a great schedule with Alice Cooper these days. He tours mostly in the summertime, and then when I get off of work, I come down here to South Africa where it's summer. So constantly chasing that sun.
Perfect. I know the feeling. I'm here in Cancun, although it could be England. It doesn't look sort of too Cancun-y here.
Look at us, a couple guys, just from. I lived in Sweden for a long time. You lived in England, Swansea. So, I mean, just look at us.
That's it.
I'll bet you neither of us have anything on underneath these below these shirts.
That's
Definitely
it.
short pants. I definitely have
That's it.
short pants on.
Pretty much, yeah. Honestly, the only
Some
reason I put a T-shirt on is because I'm interviewing you today. Usually, it's just I'm from Bristol myself, but I've Swansea and all Wales and all that is very close to home. So I've seen you guys perform a lot. I saw you in Bristol. In fact, Alice was my first ever gig, believe it or not. But you weren't in the band at that time. It was Orianthe and Tommy and those guys. But you come along a little bit later again. But I know you were there.
Yeah. I joined
Wait.
literally like the next year. I rejoined the band because I was in Alice from 1996 up until about 2006, and then I took a little hiatus. I lived in Sweden and watched my kids grow up, which I'm very lucky to do. When they don't remember, but I remember, and those were very special years. And then around 2012, I got asked to be back in the band, and that's when you started coming to the shows. And I can see with the T-shirt that you're wearing right now, the Judas Priest T-shirt, that's good foreshadowing because Alice Cooper and Judas Priest have some shows, and I think the O2 Arena is lined up with Judas Priest later on this year.
Yeah. I was going to get onto that. As a big Priest fan, I was so excited to see it. It's a shame I've left for Mexico now. I'm living here primarily, so I'm missing all these gigs, which I'd love to. When I was in England, I'd wait for these gigs to come around every year, but that is like the perfect lineup, Alice and Priest. I can't think, for me, you've always been my two top groups, and I grew up with Alice, and obviously one of your first albums you played on was a live album, the Fistful of Alice, which I think being in Mexico is quite relevant. I think it was Cabo San Lucas, was it?
It was Cabo San Lucas. It wasn't just the first album. It was the first show I've ever played with Alice Cooper. So it's the first time ever stepping on stage with Alice Cooper. It was filmed for VH1 as a concert filming, and then we did the live album at the same time, and then we had all these special guests like Rob Zombie, Sammy Hagar, Slash was up there as well. So yeah, no pressure at all for your first gig with Alice Cooper.
No, that is crazy. And I mean, it sounds amazing. I mean, you must be proud to have been on that album. I loved, obviously, like you say, Rob Zombie. He was on Feed My Frankenstein, if I remember rightly. And yeah, it was my first time hearing Rob Zombie as well, actually. I grew up on the Coop. My dad used to play it all the time. I'd listen to all the albums, growing up. He's probably the reason I'm a singer myself, because I loved Alice. My dad just played that stuff all the time.
Well, I'm glad he. I always chuck up Alice Cooper fans as a result of either really good parenting or really bad parenting. Either way, somehow you came to us, and I appreciate it, and the band appreciates it, and we're still rocking and rolling to this day. I like talking about that album, Fistful of Alice, because that we didn't even have a bass player the 3 days before the actual filming of that, because they switched up bass players at the last minute. Greg Smith was supposed to be the bass player, and then something happened where he couldn't do it, and then Todd Jensen came in, and that was the first time of meeting Todd. Todd Jensen currently plays in bass in Journey, and he just came in and nailed it. And I played next to him for the next couple of years on stage right. It was friggin' loud. I'll tell you that much. Todd Jensen was loud on bass guitar. It's the loudest bass, even louder than Chuck Garrick, to be honest with you. Yeah, he just had that classic P bass and Ampeg setup, full amps. That's when the bands were all using. That's when all the bands. There was no such thing as in-ear monitors. They were just side fills and in-ears or regular monitors, no in-ears, and Marshalls and big cabinets, and pretty much early onset deafness.
Yeah, I was going to say you deaf now. I know most musicians from that time period now are a bit deaf. There's something that does come with the loudness of being on the stage for so long.
I learned very early on to start wearing earplugs. And what my earplugs were, to be honest with you, they were in-ear monitors, but I took the wires out because I had a very early set of in-ear monitors, but I didn't know how to use them. I didn't want to use them. I wanted to feel the music. And so I used to use them as earplugs, and then I would just have them crank the monitors and the side fills. It did a little bit of good because I can hear relatively okay still, but it's definitely had some effect over the years. And now using in-ear monitors and really controlling the sound this last decade, I've been able to prolong my hearing, I think, by at least a few more tours. So fingers crossed.
That's good. Yeah, you can always do the Brian Johnson thing if it gets too bad, and you can get the.
Yeah, nobody wants to get to the point where you have to get your ears surgically worked on so that you can just hear sounds. I know that we met Huey Lewis from Huey Lewis and the News, that band, and he's had the same sort of thing. He had the same issues where it's really hard for him to hear music and stuff anymore, which is sad. I never want to not be able to hear the stuff that's coming out of our amps and stuff. So again, I'm just sitting here in the studio now getting ready for this next leg of the tour and working on a bunch of my own stuff right now. So I need my ears. Definitely need my ears.
Definitely brilliant. That's
what do you play? What do you play, Matt?
Well, I sing, but I do play a bit of guitar. I've got my guitar over now. It's here actually, but it's not. It's out of tune. It's one of these awful little flamenco things. The only thing I could get over it. But I used to play Desperado, but I don't know if I can remember it now. But don't know if I play it right or not. But
yeah, what key do you do it in?
This is in E, I think, but I don't know. This guitar goes out of tune very quickly.
It's close. I know it.
Yeah, close.
We haven't played that song in a long time.
Yeah.
But
I gotta get out. Very cool. Yeah, no, I sing mostly these days. I used to play guitar, but then I thought, well, I kind of discovered my voice a bit more, and I thought, well, I'm going to go fully into singing. So most of my life I've been singing now, but it's something I love, and Alice is always a big inspiration, and Priest, they're my two biggest influences. I like to scream, I like the kind of Holford scream style. And also a bit of rock kind of edge, Alice Cooper type vocals, but it's
Lost in these changes. What am I to do?
yeah, it's a fun thing to explore and kind of
Carry
try
the
and do.
torch and create your own world down in Cancun and spread the metal.
I am. Yeah,
You
I
know?
do. I do a gig on a Friday out here at the moment, playing at a bar, just playing all my favourite kind of tunes, bit of Alice, bit of Priest, some 80s pop and stuff. So it's good fun. It's a good place to be, just to rock out and enjoy. And I was going to say, is there any, before you go, is there any more Alice riffs you could jam very quickly?
Well, I mean, it is the acoustic guitar, so it's kind of, not so
True.
easy to play Alice Cooper ones,
True,
but
true. Hey, what's going on?
do I know it?
I think so. Yeah, you got it.
Wait. Wow. Again,
That
that
is
was like
nice.
that stuff that's like way back in the cerebral.
Memory
I
bank.
think I don't even think it's I don't even think it's in my brain anymore. It's somewhere in my spine that you
Yeah.
remember those songs. And again, like maybe a song like that, an old school Halo of Flies, is something that maybe should be brought back at one point.
Yeah. No, that's very
Before,
cool.
at least before Alice stops touring, maybe one more Halo of Flies round would be fun to do.
It would be good. Yeah. I'm not going to keep getting you to play stuff, but could I hear a bit of Only Women Bleed? It's one of my
Oh,
favourite
that's a good one
tracks.
for acoustic, yeah.
It is, yeah.
Man got his woman to take his seat. He got the power, oh, she got the need. Too often he smokes and drinks and don't come home at all.
Ooh, Only Women Bleed.
Only women bleed. Only women bleed.
Very beautiful. And
There you go, folks. That's
there you
it.
go. Thank you very much. And I had a couple of messages from some people you might know. Calico Cooper just wanted to say shame. Does that mean something to you?
Shame. Yes,
Yeah.
it's shame. That is, there's a lot of shame that goes on in our poker games. And if you don't put your money in, or you forget to put your money in, or you kind of try to delay putting your money in the pot, you get shamed. So that's where that comes from. Or it just comes from overall, there's just basically a lot of shame on the road.
Oh no, that's great. And I had a good chat with my pal Satchel the other day, and he just wanted to say, I've got the message here. He said we golfed together, and it was a blast. Do you remember golfing with Satchel?
Oh yeah, he's a good golfer.
Yeah, he said. Sorry, carry on.
Both Satchel and Sticks It In Ya. Both Satchel and Sticks are great golfers. Alice was so impressed with the way they golfed, he wanted to take them on the road just to be golf buddies. I mean, he loves the band, but he also wants to take them on to be golf buddies. So that would be another tour that would be insanely fun.
Yeah,
I think,
yeah. Steel Panther, yeah, they're one of the most fun bands out there, and obviously Satchel, amazing player. But he wanted to say to you, he said, He said he's rad. Say hi from me. Great guitar player too. So there you go. That's from Satchel there.
You know what? Satchel is actually, talk about giving, credit back. That guy is insanely good guitar player. And he's so good at playing guitar that if you go back and check out who's the guy that in Mr. Big,
Paul Gilbert, was it?
if you go check out Paul Gilbert's first guitar video, first one that he ever put out, like it shows you all these little exercises and stuff of how to become a shredder, you'll see Satchel playing bass.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that. And I've
You seen that? All right,
Yeah,
there you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
So he's such a good guitar player that he plays bass.
Exactly. No, he's crazy. He's right out there. He's incredible player.
And usually it's the other way around. Usually it's like you're not such a great guitar player, so you play bass.
Yeah, that's usually.
Oh God, the bass players are going nuts right now.
They are. They're not
Honestly, I think there's something to be said about a driving bass player. I'm actually trying to write a song right now that could use a really good bass player, because I'm just doing my.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty cool too. But like all downstrokes, there's something to be said about those bass players out there that just hammer it with all the downstrokes. So if you play bass like that, you give me a call and I'll put you in my band.
On the subject of Satchel, obviously he played with Fight as well, with Rob Holford for a while. He was in the Fight band, and I recently did a project with JJ, who was also in the Fight band, the bassist of Fight, and he's got a very cool. I was discussing with him the other day that I love his sound because the bass is so up there. It's not just in the background. It's like you can hear it. It's proper nice sounding bass. And he's a really cool one. We did cover a Devil's Child the other day, which was cool.
Oh,
so.
Nice.
It might be worth calling him up. He's
when it all comes down to it, though, Dennis Dunaway, one of the best bass players of all time. I mean, I know I razz some bass players from time to time, say the whole quote bass is bass, but you get guys like Dennis Dunaway, just recorded all those classic songs, and it's such a unique style. It's amazing.
It sounds like some of the songs just go in a completely different direction, kind of midway through the song and stuff, kind of like the early days where it's the Alice Cooper band thing that you kind of can find a new direction in one song where a lot of people wouldn't do that change. There's a lot of surprise elements throughout, kind of thing.
Well, I've always been the crusader for that, even though I'm not the only person that comes up with those ideas. Neil and I are very experimental when we're deciding what is the best for each and every tiny part of a song, and we try to push it to somewhere new, and that's our signature style, so we always try for everything that you hear that sounds like one of those unusual departures. There's probably 100 more that we decided, well, this is cool, but it doesn't really help the song. Yeah. So that's the other thing. We would experiment, and we would go pioneer out as far as we could, but then we would have to reel it in to support the song properly.
Yeah, that's really cool, and I love how you kind of do that, and you've still got that experimental element in what you do, and I think that helps keep the sound fresh, and kind of at least you make sure it works for the song as well. That's an important part of what you're doing. You're not just going off on one. You're going off on one, but you're also making sure it works. Kind of thing.
When I first met Ryan Roxie, we were backstage, and he was saying, I've learned so many of your the Alice Cooper Group's songs. He said, but I've always had one question: how come you guys always do things in threes? And I said, because I've worked with musicians. Well, you have to add one more. It's got to go to 4. Why? It doesn't have to go to 4.
Yeah.
My answer to Ryan was, I think we got bored by 4. So we were in a hurry. We were in a hurry to get into something different.
That's really cool. Yeah. Oh, well, I chatted with Ryan a while ago. Actually, he was on the channel a while ago, and
Great.
he loves.
They're all great.
Yeah, they're all really cool.
And whenever I do see, like night after night, I get to play next to Chuck, and Chuck is just, straight ahead, lays it down, would want to be, he plays guitar with Beasto, but, I know him as my bass player for so many years of playing with him as well. And he plays great guitar as well. But I mean, like I said, I'm more that guy that just likes to, I play bass like I play guitar, all downstrokes. So, you know what? All that stuff I said about bass players earlier, disregard it. I love you, bass players.
Thanks for your time, Ryan.
You got it.
And the best thing I can say to a guy like Metal Matt is, whatever you do, don't rust.
Hey, this is Satchel from Steel Panther. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he is totally naked from the waist down.
And there we have it, Ryan Roxie talking there, as well as a bit of Dennis Dunaway, which I think was very interesting. Cool conversation between Ryan and Dennis there, what Dennis was describing there. And we even had a bit of an appearance from Alice Cooper, which you may have noticed, which is really cool for me being such a big Alice fan. Great that Alice noticed me, that's really, really cool for me. So yeah, you probably heard a bit of that on there as well. But yeah, really cool, and an honour to jam a little bit there with Ryan as well, do a bit of Only Women Bleed, and hear him play some great songs like Halo of Flies, such an intricate guitar song that I've seen them play it live actually. I think on that first time I saw Alice in 2011 in Bristol, at the Bristol Colston Hall, although they've changed the name now to Bristol Beacon, but yeah, it was the Colston Hall at that time, and yeah, it was a great performance, really, really cool. And Steve Hunter was in the band as well, which played on a lot of original albums of Alice as well. I think he played on $1 Billion Babies and a few others. He's been there through most of Alice's career, on and off, and he did tour with Alice for a little bit, and it was a real honour to see him, because he doesn't do a lot of touring these days, I don't think. I don't know if he does any now. So yeah, I was lucky, especially being my first gig ever and my first Alice Cooper gig. I was quite lucky there, and Orianthi was in the band, who was Michael Jackson's guitar player. Just before he died, she was going to do the whole, whatever it was called, tour, the This Is It tour. She was on the This Is It movie where you see Michael Jackson rehearsing with the band. She was one of the guitarists he picked out, an Australian guitar player, and she unfortunately missed out on that gig due to Michael's passing, but luckily she got with Alice, and I was lucky to see her as well, and a lot of talented guys in the band at that time, and still to this day most of them are still there. Orianthi isn't now, but I think she still hangs out with the guys sometimes from what I've seen. But yeah, to play a bit of Dragon Town now. This is a song which I always loved. Obviously Ryan was on this album as well, Ryan Roxie there, and this is a song about a very naughty nun, so let's hear it now. Sister Sarah.
Got laid, now she's dealing with me, and she's gonna get paid. She got caught with the bishop, got caught with the abbot, even cardinal sin tried to feed her habits. Now we get whores and pimps and skanks, but when your judgment came down, even we gave thanks.
Sister Sarah off the Dragontown album. That's got to be one of my all-time favorite Alice Cooper songs. I just love it. I love the lyrics. Alice's voice is so strong, and that riff, that really dark riff. Like I said, it's one of the darkest albums. It's just got such a vibe, really heavy, really dark, and yeah, different side to Alice. And yeah, I love it. I know all the lyrics off by heart. As I'm listening to it, it's like every lyric comes to me. It takes me back to my youth when I was listening to this album over and over. So yeah, just great music and great album. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that one, guys. Sister Sarah there. We won't play it again. I'll play another one now. But yeah, we're gonna play a bit more from Dennis Dunaway, my interview with him, and talking about a very iconic album now, the School's Out album, which I think we all know. School's out for summer. Well, that whole album was great. That was the big album for Alice, and yeah, you'll love my talk with Dennis Dunaway here, where he talks about the process of recording that album, and yeah, gives us a bit of a behind the scenes insight. So yeah, take a listen to this, and then we'll play some songs off of School's Out. How about that? As we're getting near the end of the show, we'll celebrate with a bit of that album once we've heard Dennis. Dennis here telling us a bit more about it.
Going back to an iconic album, School's Out. Do you have any memories of that and the recording process, or just the writing? And did you know it would be so iconic at the time? Did you have a feeling that might be
the song?
And the song mainly, yeah. And School's Out. Did you think that?
Well, the album was the guys in the band look at it like it was Glenn Buxton's album, because that was all that West Side Story stuff and all of that punk from the back of the class, and the guy that's smoking cigarettes behind the gymnasium while Alice and I are running track. It was so Glenn Buxton. But now, as opposed to being in Chicago for Love It to Death and Killer albums, now we're in New York City. And not only that, but this was the first album that Bob Ezrin did on his own, producing. Before, we had Jack Richardson overseeing those albums. But, we were experimenting like crazy, which, come on, let's tip a hat to the Beatles for that. We were like 3 o'clock in the morning, we ran a cord with a microphone all the way out through the alley in the back of the building out to the street. And every time a New York City cab driver would come by, and it was summer and it was hot, so they had their windows open, well, we'd yell at them and they'd yell back. So we wanted to record that and put it on the album. Unfortunately, everything that the cab drivers yelled back was explicitives that we couldn't use on the album. So, but we had fun. And like on Alma Mater goes into this kind of an old cowboy horse riding off into the distant sound. Doom,
Yeah.
ba-doom, ba-doom,
I
ba-doom.
love that, yeah.
And you hear a coyote. Well, that's me out in the alley behind the studio doing my famous coyote call that I perfected on hay rides when Alice and I would go on hay rides in Arizona. I thought that impressed the girls, even though I have no proof that it ever did.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite songs, actually, off the album. I always love that one. It's kind of
Neil wrote that, yeah. It's
yeah.
Camelback High because that's the school he went to, and then it says Cortez High because that's the one that Glenn and Alice and I went to. So School's Out, the song itself, was the first time that we all knew it was going to be a hit. We wrote I'm 18 because the record company said 18-year-olds that's the age group that buys the most records because they're still living at home and they have a job. So we wrote I'm 18 as big hit. Then on Killer album, we had Under My Wheels and Be My Lover, but they weren't quite as big of hits as 18 was. And we're saying, well, we got to write another song for this kid, And we all went to school together. So School's Out was just, it's almost like we didn't write it. It's almost like just the creative gods dropped it right in our lap. But we knew it was a hit. because I used to say, if I know what's a hit single, 90% of what's on the radio wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
I had no clue what a hit single was, but that one we knew. So we had all of the music and the arrangement. We all locked in on all of that, and then we had the lyrics, except Bob Ezrin said, okay, this sounds like the hit, so let's really polish these lyrics to perfection. So he got a legal pad and a pencil, and we were all in a room together, and we started at the beginning, line for line, and we came to one line that nobody could come up with anything. And finally, Bob said, we're bogging down here. Let's go ahead and finish the song and come back to this. So the whole song was finished, but we still couldn't think of one line in the song. And we kept, the more we tried to think of what the line should be, the stupider it got. Finally, I said, hey, wait a minute. We're the kids at the back of the class. We can't even think of a word that rhymes, and Neil's like, oh, no shit, Sherlock. It's like, yeah, no, that's it. We can't even think of a word that rhymes. And then everybody, the light bulb went on in the room, and that's it. We brought it down.
That's perfect. It's such a great song. I mean, it's an iconic song, and I guess it's just relatable for everyone, pretty much. Everyone kind of wants. The
only people that it's not relatable to are about 1 year old.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of like the whole album, how you captured some of it's about, wanting to get out of school. And then the other side of it is kind of the sad bit of leaving your friends and things like that. So you kind of captured the whole vibe of leaving school in that sound. I used to listen to that album when I was kind of at the end of my school days, which I didn't enjoy very much, but the album gave me some,
Well, it's funny. School was like that for us, Well, Alice and I had such a Ferris Bueller thing going at school. I mean, we got away with murder. For one thing, the high school was on its second year open when I started, and then third year open when Alice came. And a lot of the rules hadn't been etched into stone yet. So we were able to really finagle our way around a lot of the rules and get away with murder, basically. I'm not sure that we learned a lot, but still, there's that thing where you don't like school until you're not in school anymore. And then all of a sudden you start missing all of the things that were cool.
Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, I think, it's kind of, there was a freedom of that age, even though you were kind of controlled and you want to get out of that, there's a freedom of just not having the responsibilities. And when you're older, and it's kind of,
right, not having to do homework for one thing.
That's one of the best parts. Yeah, that's it.
But see, that's that probably is a big factor for the camaraderie and the chemistry of the Alice Cooper group, because we all went to school, high school, in the same town in the same year, and then when we were out of school, all of the things that you can look back on school and say you miss, we just took it with us. That became our show. That became the School's Out album. Yeah. I mean, it's just us, and even on this new album. School's Out had Blue Turk. This new album has What a Sid, which is along those lines. But as soon as we get together, I'm 78, but still we go in the studio recently, and all of a sudden I'm in high school again. Yeah. Music, like I say, music, if it doesn't kill you, it'll keep you young forever.
That's it. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I kind of, with the rebellion of that album, I remember on my last day of school, I was with a friend in the top up high, and we were throwing all the dictionaries out the window on our last day, and that was kind of
great.
That was great. That's a memory that's just come back to me. I haven't thought of that for years, but yeah, it's a funny thing.
So we wanted, as far as Neil and I on the rhythm section on School's Out, we decided that we wanted it to be militant, like, hey, we're getting out of school, so on the choruses, Neil has like a bolero thing, but with the bass all downstrokes playing along with it. we got it to drive more in a more militant feel. And then when we got to the bridge, another one of those departure ideas, we wanted it to sound like little kids on a playground. So now the drums and bass, the bass, do 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 do, you know. So so those were intentional choices that were to support the concept of the song, and that's how we worked. You know, it's like what's the feel of the song, what's the song saying, and what can I musically play that supports that feel.
Yeah, I love that. You really achieved that. You know, I think that album will forever be an anthem. You know, I can't see it ever getting old. It's, you know, it's perfect.
And there we have Dennis Dunaway talking about the iconic Schools Out album. I love talking with Dennis. He was so down to earth. One of my favourite interviews I've ever done. I think he's just got such a cool vibe, and being able to tell him how much that album particularly meant to me, you know, it's quite surreal, you know, when you can tell these people how much an album had an impact on your youth and different things. It was really great to interview him, and he actually did the interview with me because I interviewed a guitarist who played on this new album, a young guy called Jassy, who did some kind of session stuff on the album, the new album, The Revenge of Alice Cooper. He told me he'd come straight on the interview with me because he really enjoyed my interview with him, Jassy. So that was an honour that he liked my interview and wanted to join me. And yeah, I'm just so honoured to have chatted with him. So on that note, we're talking earlier there with him about the song Alma Mater. I think it's my favourite song off the Schools Out album. And I think you guys are going to love it if you don't know it already, but I'm sure you do. So let's hear a bit of that now.
Down my cheek, searching for the sea. Tomorrow, like the rain, I'll be back home again. I watch the bus as it pulls out of view. Someday, like that bus, I will be leaving too. But you know, it breaks my heart to leave you. Camelback, my high school. And now I'll see you around sometime, huh? Hey, don't make a stranger of yourself, huh? Remember the coop, huh? I hope you don't forget me or nothing. Goodbye.
Great song. I always love that one off of the Schools Out album. My favourite on there. And I'm so glad I got a chance to talk about that song with him, and that coyote sound at the end there. If you were listening, as Dennis mentioned, that was him in the alleyway making that noise. I love that kind of DIY thing. Judas Priest did a lot of that with British Steel, with the cutlery drawer making noise for Metal Gods with the kind of sound, and whips on tables and all kind of thing. I love that DIY thing. I do a bit of that. In fact, that song I played at the start there, my new song, has got some motorbikes. Someone was revving a motorbike outside, and I incorporated that in the song. So, I love that kind of DIY, thing where you add some sound effects of your own. So yeah, we're on our last 10 minutes of the show, guys. You can catch me every Friday, every Saturday, and check my social medias, Metal Matt, for the times. I'm always advertising it and what each week's show is gonna be about, because I'm always variating the different subjects and the different bands I'm playing and different interviews. But I've loved doing an Alice Cooper special this week, because that is my thing. That's what I grew up on, Alice, and yeah, it's been an honour to play these great songs and play all these interviews I've been lucky enough to do. So going to play a bit more music now to end the show, some more Alice music. So I'm going to bid you all farewell and leave you with another song off the Schools Out album. Of course it is Looney Tune. So enjoy, guys, and after that I'll play something from the From the Inside album, another masterpiece, I think one of Alice's best albums. And he really got in the character of all the different people he was singing about on From the Inside. It was from his experience of being in the place for recovery, the recovery place for his drinking at the time when he was drinking. And it was like a mental asylum kind of place, and he met all these interesting characters, and that's what he kind of put into the album. So yeah, a great album, From the Inside. So yeah, I'll be playing that one after, and I'll play you a song off the new album too, The Revenge of Alice Cooper. So sit back, just enjoy some Alice music now, because I think we've had enough talking. Let's just enjoy the tunes. So on the talk of tunes, we got the Looney Tune.
Into my jeans, looking hard and feeling mean. I took a spit at the moon. It's all in this Looney Tune. Just a little insane. A couple shots, I can't feel no pain. Hey, where have I been? And who are these scary men? Is this all real? Is this all necessary? Or is this a joke? Man, you know, I don't regret at all. They locked me up for good, pinned me against the wall. I can't find the exit, I quit looking for doors. I stole a razor from the car.
It's not like we did something wrong. We just burned down the church while the choir within sang religious songs. And it's not like we thought we was right. We just played with the wheels of a passenger train that cracked on the tracks one night. It's not like we ain't on the ball. We just talk to our shrinks. They talk to the shrinks. No wonder we're up the wall. And we're not stupid or dumb. We're the lunatic fringe who rusted the hinge on Uncle Sam's daughters and sons.
Good old boys and girls, congregating, waiting in another world.
With roller coaster brains. Imagine playing with trains.
Good old boys and girls, congregating, waiting in some other world.
We're all crazy. We're all crazy.
We're all crazy.
Lindsay Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks.
And don't think we're trying to be bad. No! Innocent crime seemed alright at the time. Not necessarily mad.
Not necessarily mad.
We watch every day for the bus. And the driver would say, that's where lunatics stay. I wonder if he's talking about us. It's not like we're vicious or gone. No! We just dug up the graves where your relatives lay in Old Forest Lawn. And it's not like we don't know the score. We're the fragile elite. They dragged off the street. I guess they just couldn't take us no more.
Good old boys and girls, congregating, waiting in another world.
With roller coaster brains. Imagine digging up graves.
Good old boys and girls, congregating, waiting in some other world.
We're all crazy. We're all crazy.
We're all crazy.
We're all crazy. We're all crazy.
We're all crazy.
and day, and the years just flew away, and I'm still playing in that damn garage. But I never gave up, took a rip from my bong, and the world passed me by, and I wrote another song about the crap that gets in the way of your dreams. Well, that's just how it seems. You work all your life, but you never succeed, and you don't get what you need. And ain't it a crime when you don't have a dime to show? And now I'm 65, and yeah, I'm still alive, but I ain't seen my wife in quite a while. She may be dead upstairs, or maybe she just don't care about my music or my laundry pile. Was I wasting my life? Were they right all along? Should I bury my wife, or just write another song about the crap that gets in the way of your dreams? Well, that's just how it seems. You work all your life, but you never succeed, and you don't get what you need.